Shabbat Shalom. It's good to see everybody here this evening. I am filling in for Rabbi Weiner this evening. And before we welcome Shabbat and start our Kabbalat Shabbat service, I'm going to ask Karen Butterfield to come up and give us our announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'll give you a minute to come sit down. I'm Karen Butterfield. I'm representing the Board of Directors tonight. I want to thank everyone who's joining us for tonight's Shabbat service. A few announcements. On Sunday, January 16th at 9:15 a.m., Eitz Chaim is partnering with the One America Movement for our annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day program. This Zoom session will be an interactive workshop to learn how to have productive discussions with people who don't think, vote, or believe the same way. Participants will learn a few of the scientific reasons why it's so challenging to have conversations about controversial topics. Registration is required, and I believe an email has already gone out with registration information. Backed by popular demand, Pamela Schuler will be presenting at Shabbat services on Friday, January 21st for the Jewish Disabilities Awareness, Acceptance, and Inclusion Month. Pamela is an internationally known disability and mental health advocate and professional stand-up comedian. She's very funny. If you saw her last time, I highly encourage you to come. It will be a great service and time, I'm sure, a presentation for sure. We hope you will join us that evening. Please consider helping the victims of the Kentucky tornado disaster. The tzedakah box in the lobby will now go towards the 900-plus victims whose homes were destroyed. The Jewish Federation of Louisville and the American Red Cross are working together to support relief and recovery efforts in the hardest hit areas. You can also make an online donation through our website or send in a check. I'm thanking in advance Cindy McGlassie for leading our service and stepping in at the last minute and providing us with the beautiful music that I know it'll be beautiful, Cindy. I haven't heard it yet, but it'll be great. And to Taylor Richier for ushering and to Len Kaczynski for greeting tonight. And next Friday night, January 14th, our Shabbat service will be at 7:30 p.m. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you, Karen, and thanks for the vote of confidence. So this is Shabbat Bo. Usually, when the leaders at Eitz Chaim come up to the bima to lead, we have been had the custom to remove our masks so that everybody can see and hear us clearly. But the pandemic is at such a point now that our COVID task force has made the decision that we should all stay masked through the whole service, even those of us who are coming up to lead. We're not going to be having anyone from our congregation coming up this evening. It's just going to be me, so you don't have to worry. Nobody's going to be walking through a cloud or anything. But I will keep my mask on because we have to now. It's just where we are. So I think everybody knows what I look like. I'm smiling underneath. So we'll begin this evening by singing Tov L'Hodot, which you have on the song sheet that was with your prayer book when you came in.
Shimcha
We'll welcome this time of Shabbat through the lighting of, or the blessing of the Shabbat lights. Let's turn to page 3. And at the top of page 3, we'll read together. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And our service continues with our call to worship on page 28. Please rise. Together we read at the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Continue with the Shema on page 34. Shema Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochpecha uv'kumecha, ug'shartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihyot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We read together at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha, page 40. Page 44. We'll read the English at the top of the page together. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We continue on page 46 with the tefillah. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agiteilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agiteilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'gonei ha'kol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevi gehula livnei b'neihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah gipor leolam Adonai, Mechayim etim atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayim etim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamo chabal gevurot umido melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua b'nei manata lahachayot metim Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom yalalucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Page 55. Let's read together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with our prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 60. Shalom Rav, on Israel Amcha, Nasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, on Israel Amcha, So while Rabbi Weiner is not here in body, she is here with us in mind and in spirit because she sent me a lovely Devar Torah to share with all of you this evening. This is what she has to say about our Torah portion this week, which is Shabbat Bo. It's interesting that this week, on the anniversary of the insurrection in D.C., that we find ourselves reading the Torah portion Bo. This Torah portion begins with the culmination of the 10 plagues. God sends locusts and then darkness upon the Egyptians, and finally, even after Moses warns Pharaoh about the last plague, the death of the firstborn, Pharaoh still does not let the Israelites leave Egypt, and as a result, God enacts the final plague. While many of us may be familiar with this part of the story, we may not be as familiar with the words that Moses shares with the Israelites as they prepare to leave Egypt and begin their journey in the desert. One would think that when preparing to leave the only life they had ever known, a leader might focus on freedom or the wonders of the land, or even what the future may hold once they reach the promised land. Instead, Moses talks about education and the importance of the parents' responsibility to teach their children about their history, where they have come from, and how to learn from the past so that the past does not repeat itself. What he tells the Israelites to do is what we have done from every generation from then until now. Teach them the story. Allow them to ask questions and teach in a way that will be effective so that they remember it and can someday teach it to their children. 3 times Moses says this. In Exodus 12, Moses says, "It shall be that when you come to the land which God will give you, as God said, and you observe this ceremony, and your children say to you, 'What does this service mean to you?' You shall say, 'It is a Passover sacrifice to the Lord who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when God struck the Egyptians and spared our homes.'" And then a second time in Exodus 13, verse 8. "And on that day you shall tell your child, 'It is because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt.'" And then a third time, same chapter, Exodus 13, verse 14. "In the future, when your child asks you, 'What is this?' you shall tell them, 'With a mighty hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the land of slavery.'" The importance of retelling the story and engaging children in the process is, of course, important to us as Jews, but also important to us as Americans. In 5 or 25 or 50 years, How will we tell the story of the insurrection to our children? How will we engage them in understanding this trying time in our history? What will we say to our children to help them understand that we need to understand the past in order for it never to repeat itself in the future? If the story of the Exodus from Egypt has taught us anything, it is that we must continue telling the story. We must engage people of all ages in understanding our history, where we have come from, and the incidents that make us who we are today, both as Jews and as Americans. And perhaps most importantly, with each telling of the story, we hope that people continue to see themselves as the Israelites, looking toward a better future ahead for each of us. Shabbat Shalom. And so we turn our thoughts now to those of our community and families who are ill and in need of healing. This evening, we're thinking of Elwood Frederick Bryan, Joan Katz, Krista Niestro, Lori Johnson, Jim Hines, Richard Vane, Arthur Lang, Heather Borzak, Franny Ein, Kathy Minardi, Karen Mullen-Koski, Dick McLean, Kunz Newman, Brooke Allen Gottsman, Bridget Stern, Jim Berry, Amanda Rayrauer, Rusty Taylor, Gary Tatiner, Mark Zellman, Cheryl Hildebrand, Lila Warshawski, Cheryl Ball, John Eulenberg, Evan Georgie, Bill Green, Rhonda Rhodes, David Menachoff, Stacia Thyman, Carol Pretmar, Jamie Koznowski, Robin Channon, Joy Rosenthal, Reese Kaiser, Alan Wolski, and all those who suffer whom we know not by name. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Be'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et Chol Cholei Yisrael, v'Yishlach lahem bimhera refuah shalema, refuat ha'nefesh, u'refuat ha'guf, v'nomar, Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all who are stricken. May the Holy One of Praise mercifully restore them to health and to vigor. May God grant them health of body, health of spirit, and of mind. And let us say, Amen. You can find the text for Mishaberach on page 253. Let us And we turn now to the Aleinu on page 282. I'd like to invite Karen Butterfield up to open our ark doors. Please rise. You may be seated. V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech hakol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Page 290. Let's read together number 5. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. In the Shabbat, we are observing the yahrzeits of Joseph Hirschhander, father of Barbara Uditsky, Sam Merkovitz, grandfather of Rachel Wood, Arthur M. Samuels, father of Stephen Samuels, grandfather of Michael Samuels, Suzanne Uris Kaufman, mother of Julie Benario, William Ornstein, uncle of Shyla Lux, Esther Rubicek, mother of Donald Rubicek, Manuel Rovens, grandfather of Ronnie Markwell, Elliot Landau, husband of Eileen Landau, Dina Lenato, aunt of Craig Mandel, Molly Moskowitz, mother of Martin Mechanic, Ralph Schick, grandfather of Brian Madison, Elaine Zeidel, aunt of Jeff Zeidel, Celia Feinstein, mother of Alan Feinstein, Evelyn Mayer, mother of Bruce Mayer, Harry Burstein, cousin of Scott Burstein, Vera Kahn, mother of Michael Kahn, Sheldon Rosen, father of Jeffrey Rosen, Max Shapiro, uncle of Michelle Miller, Louis Blocker, grandfather of Brett Blocker, Barbara Ann Brower, aunt of Jennifer Brower, Ida Leviton, grandmother of Wendy Peck and grandmother of Deborah Cox, Esther Palia, mother of Gary Palia. Bessie Schneider, great-aunt of Rachel Wood. Jim Johnson, uncle of Barbara Tischler. Kurt Solomon, father of Fred Solomon. Roy Woolen, brother of Gerald Woolen. Linda Grossinger, mother of Michael and Stephen Grossinger. Dr. Donald Aronson, friend of Jeffrey Engel. And we mourn the recent passing of Randy Taylor, close friend of Kathy Shapiro. Johnny Dew, cousin of Ann Stewart. David Talbot, father of John Talbot. Stanley Weinstein, uncle of Craig Mandel. Janie Hill, mother of Jason Hill. David Baruch, father of Rachel Yackley and founding member of Etz Chaim. And Barbara Werlinski, mother of Seth Werlinski, grandmother of Kai Werlinski. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We remember them with the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divera chirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yithalal, shemei dekutsha, barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. The source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say, amen. Ve'imru, amen. Ve'imru, amen. Ve'imru, amen. Ve'imru, amen. Please be seated. Our closing song for this evening can be found on page 333. It is Yaribon. This is one of the piyut, or the poems, that was written by a rabbi in Sfat back in the 16th century. Now, this text has been with us for a long time. The melody for it is unknown, so we don't know when the music got put to it, though this rabbi, Israel Najara, did write many songs and many poems during his life and his time as a rabbi in, of all places, Gaza City. So I wanted to sing this with you tonight. It's one of my favorites, one of the first Jewish songs I ever learned. Yaribon olam ve'almaya, ve'almaya, unto Malka melech malchaya, melech malchaya, unto Malka melech malchaya, melech malchaya. Oh, new year. A new year is unfolding like a blossom with petals curled tightly, concealing the beauty within. God, let this year be filled with the things that are truly good, with the comfort of warmth in our relationships, with the strength to help those who need our help, and the humility and openness to accept help from others. As we make our resolutions for the year ahead, let us go forward with great hope that all things can be possible with your help and guidance. Happy New Year, everybody, on this first Shabbat of 2022, and I wish you all a peaceful and restful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.